The Gabriels are back, Lynn and Father Antony, and I'm going to speak about friendship. I'm going to read to you from the book of the prophet by Khalil Gibran, the book that is equal in its distribution and readership as the Bible. And the youth said, "Speak to us of friendship." And he answered, saying, "Your friend is your needs answered. He is your field which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. He is your board and your fireside, for you come to him with your hunger and you seek him your peace. Let there be no purpose in friendship save the deepening of the spirit. For love seeks aught but the disclosure of its own mystery is not love, but as a net cast forth, and only the unprofitable is caught. Love seeks not but its own self." I want to talk about friendship because I wonder how many of us in our daily life think about the number of people with whom you've been interconnected, whose lives you touched and who have touched your life. I think Glenn and I have friends that we've had our entire lives. Let's say our adult life. Unfortunately for us, a number of our friends that we met in our youth have died.
Well, they died at early ages too. Before we were 60 years old, we had lost several friends. I mean, nowadays 60 years old isn't that old, but before we were 60, we had lost several friends that were really close. And I remember saying to you, the people I like best in my life, some of the people I like best in my life, are gone. You know, at the time when you really feel like you should, like by the time you reach 60 years old, you're sort of settled in your ways, you're feeling well, and you want to have the companionship of those friends that have nurtured you spiritually so much along the way.
Yeah, we've had in our parishes and in our lives and through our families, people that were very special to us. And I think the measure of a friend I think it's mutual acceptance. That you will accept one another for who you are, not what you want them to be. Secondly, good friends, if you're in need, will reach out and help you and never say a word about it.
And they'll do it before you ask because they know you and they can read you and they want to help you. They may know it, they may know your need before you yourself know it.
I mean, I've had people that we thought were friends and came to help, and then they afterwards rubbed our noses in it. So much so that I went to the bank and paid them back for what they did at the time that we needed the help. But good friends are so precious today because we're such a fast-paced life. Do we sit down? Now, right now, in this COVID-19 period, are you in touch with your friends? I would hope you would be.
Americans are very mobile. So You have to not force yourself, but you have to proactively be a friend. Because they've moved, we live in different cities than we have than where your friendship started.
I have friends from the day that we served in Chicago, which is 100 years ago. Friends from Toledo, Ohio. From New York, where we went to school. From Washington, D.C. From Montreal. Literally from all over the world. We have people that we hear from and that we have loved in our life. Because we felt that it was necessary to fulfill the spirit that we would be engaged with people who, one friend told me once, Larry had that water finds its own level. And you find people whose water and your water finds its own level.
Sometimes friendship surprises you. Like there's someone comes into your life and it's not someone who you would have thought to be, whose company you would have thought you liked, and they're really different. And you can be surprised by the fact that this person is becoming a friend. Friendship can sometimes creep up on you.
Yeah, you find people that are there and you don't even, they just are there, loving you for who you are. And you don't always know it, but they're there. And something will occur and they make themselves known. I think in the mobility of today's life, and you were talking about children earlier, all our friends became uncle and aunts to our kids. And I think that made a difference in solidifying the foundations of our kids' lives, having all these people that they took as relatives. Everybody was an aunt and an uncle. And it really taught them respect, which is really important in the relationship. But today the world needs friendships. And I have to insert this. What we have witnessed in Washington, D.C., you wonder if anybody there knows what it is to be a friend.
Those seem to be utilitarian relationships, and from what the outside observer can tell.
And I've had people say to me, I don't have any friends. Guess what? To have a friend, you got to be a friend.
That's the best way.
You got to extend yourself to go out of your way for people that you really care about. You cannot just be a taker. We have to learn today to be real givers. Real givers. Love gives nothing but itself, Khalil Gibran says. Also says somewhere else, to know the pain of too much tenderness. And to feel for the other person. To be sensitive. To be open. You can't hide yourself with a friend or with friends.
That's why the emphasis on betrayal being so hurtful. A friend betraying you is probably the most hurtful thing that can happen. Not talking about losing a life, but it is. It's if that happens, it's the death of a friendship is something to be mourned. I mean, it's something to be mourned, like a life. If you find that a friend has betrayed you, you lose trust. It's very hard to trust once you've been betrayed.
You know, one of the things that we benefited from being in the priesthood is that we developed friendships with priests that we like they would say in the Bible, that we held all things in common. And so of course you shift the wheat from the chaff, you know. And this past week, I'm gonna slip this in to another subject very quickly. Last week was St. Antony's Day. And I cannot tell you, I don't know, there was something this year, the phone calls and text messages that I got from people wishing me, because saints' names are, and Saints' Name Day are very important in the Orthodox Church. I cannot tell you how many people contacted me on and around this feast day.
And how that brightened your day. You were walking, I mean, you were levitating because those your friends had called. You were really having a good day.
Because no one wants to be forgotten. And the fact that all these people contacted me on my name's day, oh my God, it just enlightened, lifted me up, gave me wings to fly. And St. Anthony is an important saint in our church. And you know, he was one of the first great ascetic, one of that he heard the gospel story of the man that, when questioned by Jesus about the rich man, when questioned by Jesus, and he was very sad because he couldn't give up his goods. And Antony heard this, and he was from a wealthy family. And he gave away all his wealth, and he went into the desert. And he is really considered the father of monasticism in the Orthodox Church. And in the world over, it's claimed that he really fought the devil, so to speak, and he really was victorious in his battle against the sins of the flesh, against the desire for worldly goods. The fact of the story that one day he walked by a cobbler's shop, and the cobbler had a window on the street level, and he would notice when people walked by the cobbler that they didn't have any, whether they had any shoes or not, or the shoes that needed repairing. And he would chase after them and bring them into his shop and fix their shoes for free. And then he would go at night and take gold to their homes so they would have food to eat. And when Antony heard this and saw and experienced this fellow, he realized that the height of his spirituality was not greater than that cobbler who gave everything he had to the poor and the needy. And he could have socked away money. He didn't. He rather, even though he had children, he had just enough to get by, and all the rest went to others. And so Anthony realized that he wasn't so special after all. But he is venerated in our church. And talking about this, there's my friend from Chicago called me to wish me happy St. Anthony's Day. And the two of us received checks for Christmas from a friend of ours in Chicago. I received his, and he received mine. And we got a big laugh out of it. And our friend Emil sent us small checks, but the point was he remembered us. He remembered to say, "Merry Christmas, I didn't forget you." And he sent a little gift. It was never the amount, but it was the thought. And we ought to think about those little things. What does it say in the Bible? If thou knew how to take care of the little things, you will be given charge over even greater things. If you're faithful in the little things, you will be given charge over greater things. And there's nothing greater in this life than to have a life fulfilled with a bouquet of friends with whom you touch each other's life with grace. And our friend from Chicago, whose wife died several years ago, someone that we all loved a lot, took the time out to get us special Christmas cards and send us a small gift. It's really the gift of friendship that really matters. It's a great gift from God that we can encounter others. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button on your iPad, your iPhone, or whatever. Put also the subscribe button. Please subscribe. And push the notification so you'll know when we do these videos, when they come out. Thumbs up, subscribe, notification. Remember those three things. And I'd be very grateful. God bless you.